I'm Charlie Sykes with the Bulwark, and I'm from Wisconsin, so I spent most of the afternoon snowblowing, but I just finished listening to Chris Christie, who just dropped out of the presidential race, and I wanted to talk to you folks about it. Look, I'm going to leave the horse race punditry to other folks on this side. There's something else I want to say about Chris Christie, which is that in this campaign, he was a magnificent beast. Look, he did something that very few other politicians do. He did endorse Donald Trump back in 2016, and it was a mistake. It was not just a mistake, it was a fuck up for the ages. But he admitted it was a mistake.
8 years ago, when I decided to endorse Donald Trump for president, I did it because he was winning. And I did it because I thought I could make him a better candidate and a better president. Well, I was wrong. I made a mistake.
He admitted that he was wrong, and that just doesn't happen anymore. And more importantly, he did something else. He told the truth about Donald Trump. Whatever disagreements you might have with him, he told the truth about Donald Trump. And for those of you that might be new to politics, that is vanishingly rare. And quite frankly, it took guts. A few minutes ago, he was describing how most politicians won't go places where they know they might get booed. He went to them.
He's unwilling to take responsibility for any of the mistakes that were made, any of the faults that he has, and any of the things that he's done. And that is not leadership, everybody. That is a failure of leadership. And you can boo all you want.
Now, a lot of the people who are sneering about Chris Christie and whether or not this was a brave thing for him to do, you know what? Those folks in the peanut gallery would have wet their pants if they had gone through some of the things that Chris Christie went through. But I also want to make a couple of other points about Chris Christie. Chris Christie was not just talking about his candidacy, and he's not just talking about the New Hampshire primary. He did not endorse Nikki Haley. In fact, he not only did not endorse Nikki Haley, he actually scorched her, not only during his speech, but during the hot mic moment. You might have heard about this before he actually began speaking. He had some things to say that were picked up on a hot mic.
She spent $68 million so far, just on TV. Spent $68 million so far, $59 million by DeSantis, and we spent 12. I mean, who's punching above their weight and who's getting a return on their investment, you know? And she's going to get smoked. And you and I both know it. She's not up to this.
Well, to paraphrase Taylor Swift, they are not getting back together anytime soon. And I think that's a good thing. Good. Because it turns out that Nikki Haley is not the one that we have been waiting for. Now, the smart kids in the pundit class are going to say, okay, well, now this changes the race because it means that, his votes are going to go to Nikki Haley. Nikki Haley might win in New Hampshire. And then with that momentum, she'll roll on to South Carolina. And then what? We're going to get a parade of unicorns because you know how this is going to end. It's going to end with Trump romping. He's going to crush her. And then Nikki Haley is going to bend the knee and she is going to endorse Donald Trump. And Chris Christie made it very clear that he does not want to be part of that. Because this is something else he said. That he's not just saying no to Donald Trump, he's saying no to a political party that would embrace Donald Trump. If you cannot say that Donald Trump is unfit, then you yourself are unfit. And he pointed to this one specific defining moment.
If former President Trump is convicted in a court of law, would you still support him as your party's choice? Please raise your hand if you would.
Someone's got to stop normalizing this conduct. Okay? Now, whether or not you believe that the criminal charges are right or wrong, the conduct is beneath the office of President of the United States.
So this was Chris Christie's bright red line. A criminal should never be elected president of the United States. And if you couldn't say that, then you yourself should never be elected president of the United States. So don't look for a Nikki Haley endorsement anytime soon. But then, and this I thought was the most interesting part of his speech, when he laid out the challenge facing Americans over the next 10 months and what it says about whether or not we're going to keep this republic.
A republic, if you can keep it. Benjamin Franklin's words were never more relevant in America than they are right now. The last time they were this relevant was the Civil War, which of course we know was caused by slavery. The last time those words were that relevant, back in those days. And now we are confronted, 160 years later, with that question again. A republic, if we can keep it. It's up to you.
And I think that this was the key part of the speech, where he asked the fundamental question, what decision would not just Republicans make, but what decisions will Americans make over the next 10 months? And what will that mean to that famous question, will we be able to keep this republic? Chris Christie may be gone, but the choice is still the same. I'm Charlie Sykes, and I'll be back tomorrow with more.